Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm the Anime Top Scholar, and today we're back with another retro anime recommendation. The series where I recommend 3 anime of different popularity from 4 different decades. Today, we're taking a look at 3 new shows from the best decade, aka the 90s. And I'm not just calling it the best decade because it's the decade I was born in. If you've missed an episode of this series or want to watch more anime recommendations, you can find the playlist of this series up in the top right hand corner. Anyways, without any further ado, let's just get into these recommendations. Up first, we have the popular pick on this list, and that's the 26-episode TV series from 1995 known as Neon Genesis Evangelion. This series was produced by Studio Gainax and directed by Hideaki Anno, who has also directed shows like Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, and Aim for the Top Gunbuster, 2 shows that we've featured on this channel before. The story of Evangelion is set in the year 2015. The world stands on the brink of destruction. Humanity's last hope lies in the hands of NERV, a special agency under the United Nations, and their Evangelions, giant machines capable of defeating the angels, who herald Earth's ruin. Gendo Ikari, head of the organization, seeks compatible pilots who can synchronize with the Evangelions and realize their true potential. Aiding in this defensive endeavor are talented personnel Misato Katsuragi, head of tactical operations, and Ritsuko Akagi, chief scientist. Face to face with his father for the first time in years, 14-year-old Shinji Ikari's average life is irreversibly changed when he is whisked away into the depths of NERV and into a harrowing new destiny. He must become the pilot of Evangelion Unit 01 with the fate of mankind on his shoulders. If you're one of those that still haven't watched this 90s classic, then this is a good time to finally give it a shot, now that it's available on Netflix. You too can join the fun discussions that fans have been having for over 20 years, like whether or not the religious symbolism actually has any meaning, or what the story is actually trying to tell us, if anything. But most importantly, you get to join one of the longest lasting waifu wars and pick who's best girl between Rei or Asuka, although everyone knows Misato's best girl. But all that aside, Eva is an incredible show. Its lack of animation at times may be a little off-putting, but the story, and most importantly the characters in this show, are incredibly well written. If there's one thing I would highlight when it comes to Anno shows, it's how good he is at exploring his characters psychologically, and few of his shows are more true to that than Eva. Up next, we have the less popular 6-episode OVA from 1995 called Golden Boy. This show was produced by Studio APPP and had Hiroyuki Kitakubo serve as the main director. He's also directed stuff like Blood, the Last Vampire, and the 90s OVA version of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. In Golden Boy, we follow Kintaro Oe, a specialist in part-time work, riding all over the highways and byways of Japan on his trusty steed, the Mikazuki 5, and finding employment wherever he can. His adventures bring him knowledge and experience that can't be taught in a classroom, from political corruption to the delicacy of a young woman's heart. With nothing but the open road before him, not to mention the many beautiful women along the way, Kintaro pursues his spirit of education while attempting to hold down his various odd jobs, however undignified they may be. As he learns from each task he takes on, who knows what could happen? He might even be able to save the world one day. One thing is for sure, this will all be very educational. In these times of high tension and political correctness, who would be dumb enough to recommend a show that's entire premise boils down to a grown man-child traveling around on his bike and studying everything he can, especially women? I'm that idiot! Okay, so let's just get one thing straight right away. Golden Boy is what we would call toilet humor. Basically, all kinds of dirty and sexual jokes are on the table. So obviously, this show isn't going to be for everyone. However, if you're into this type of humor, you're gonna have to look a long time to find a show that nails this type of toilet humor as well as Golden Boy does. Besides, everyone just needs to relax a little and start studying. Last but most certainly not least, we have the more obscure pick of the bunch, and that's Tetsuwan Birdie, or Birdie the Mighty in English. This 4-episode OVA was produced by Studio Madhouse and released in 1996. And Yoshiaki Kawajiri served as the main director. He's also directed anime like Ninja Scroll and Midnight Eye Goku, 2 interesting anime we've talked about on the podcast I'm on, link in the description. All Tsutomu used to care about was studying for his upcoming high school entrance exams. That is, until a series of events led him to Birdie, a hot-headed Federation officer. Now, not only do Birdie and Tsutomu have to work together to defeat Cristilla Revi and her evil plans, they have to share the same body while doing it. You may have heard of Birdie the Mighty Decode before. This is the 4-episode OVA that's based on the original Birdie the Mighty manga from the 80s. This is a fun little action comedy series. If you're into less serious shows with some cool fights, then this is the show for you. It's by no means a flawless anime, and especially some of the enemy aliens' weaknesses can be a bit stupid at times. Case in point, the alien that just so happens to have his only weakness be bleach. But it's mostly played up for comedy, and that's why I think this show works. If it would have tried to take itself more seriously, it would have just fell flat. So those were all the recommendations I have for now. Hopefully between Ava, Golden Boy, and Tetsuan Birdie, you'll find something to your interest. But in case you didn't, then you can go to the playlist for this series and find the other retro recommendations I've done so far. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, then don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more anime related content from the anime top scholar himself. Peace.